Welcome back to Dr. Walls and Friends with Yusef Salaam. And before break, we were kind of going through some takeaways of everything that has happened to this point.
Yes.
Because you are still transcending and you are still developing your story.
Absolutely.
All right. So what are some additional takeaways? We were, off camera we were talking about being the key that unlocks
Yes.
really the potential. Each person has potential, but sometimes they don't know it.
We don't want what they call the downward spiral effect to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is whenever you treat people wrong,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they begin to believe that.
That's right.
And they begin to be their worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
If we can begin to effectuate change by saying something,
Yes.
by doing things differently, by
Yes.
telling people you don't got to walk around with your pants hanging down. Because I remember I was looking at the State of Black America a few years ago, and I believe it was Al Sharpton who was saying that he bumped into a young person who was kind of disheveled and had his pants sagging. And he said, "Man, why do you dress like that?" And the guy said to him, "Man, I'm just reflecting my society and my reality." He said, "Yeah, but if you're reflecting like a mirror is also supposed to not only reflect,
Go ahead.
but also correct."
That's right.
So, you look in the mirror and you say, "Oh, my tie is a little bit off. Let
That's
me
right.
straighten it out. I have a hair sticking out. Let me slick it
That's
down
right.
a little bit." Back in the days, we had the afros and we wanted to make sure
That's
our afro
right.
was on point.
They didn't have no dents in it.
I had the flat top.
Right.
I didn't want nobody to touch my hair. I didn't want that stuff to
Not
be
the high
leaning to
top
the
fade.
side.
That's
Not
right.
at all. So we have to begin to continue that same process
That's right.
of saying to young people, saying to everyone something. Because although they don't judge books by a cover, everyone judges. I mean, although they say you should not judge a book by its cover, everybody judges books by their covers.
That's right.
If they see a group of people walking down the block with suits and ties on,
Yes.
automatically the assumption is everything is fine. But if they see a same group of folks
That's right.
walking down the block with Timberland boots on, jeans on,
That's right.
so forth and so
Oversized
on,
white
all of a
tees.
sudden, exactly. Now we
Right.
got to call the cops and say, we have a group of people that look like they're up to something wrong.
Exactly.
They could have just came from school,
Right.
and they could be talking about the Pythagorean theorem.
Anything.
They could be talking about anything.
That's right.
But when you dehumanize folks, that process has to change.
That's right.
And this whole thing about being able to transcend your reality. I try to give people the blue pill and the red pill.
Go ahead.
You have to make the decision for yourself.
That's right.
And you have to understand that both decisions
Yes.
cause you to, if there's a stick over here, when you pick up this end of the stick, it's going to also raise the other side of the stick as well.
That's right.
So what you're going to do here is going to affect what you do over there.
That's right.
If you say to yourself, well, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to continue this downward spiral, you're going to continue to have successful doors slammed in your face. Everybody needs things like security.
Right.
So imagine if the communities said, you know what, we're going to employ the young brothers and sisters that don't have jobs, and we're going to pay them something to stand in front of the stores and make sure that we are safe.
Exactly.
Because there's so many young women today, and not just New York City, who are constantly being bombarded with all kinds of assaults
Yes.
when they're walking home from work, late
Yes.
nights and so forth and so on. Imagine if we had patrols of people
Yes.
making sure that these young people are safe
Yes.
and can get to their houses without any problems. I mean, there's some things that can happen.
There are some things
You
that
know.
can be done, and people needing to step into their role.
Positive solution.
Positive solutions. And one thing that I have proclaimed for starting this year is that this is the era of abundance.
Yes.
And I say the era of positive abundance, because we want to draw the positive to us.
Yes,
So an
indeed.
abundance of peace,
Yes, indeed.
an abundance of prosperity, an abundance of love.
I second that.
All right now. All right. I'm going to have you shaking the tambourine in a second.
Yes, indeed.